Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Robbie1 Kenobi, and I'm here to bring you my WWE Night of Champions 2015 review. Overall, I thought that this show was just average. I felt the show was average. Not saying it was terrible, but not saying it was good to very good or even solid. I really just felt the show was average from start to finish. But there were some good matches and moments to point out, and I'll get to those throughout this review. Let's go ahead. Let's kick off the review with the Intercontinental Championship match. Ryback defending against Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens, he was quite the technician in this match. For a guy his size and frame, and I know I've said this a couple times about other guys, including Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is quite a versatile performer in the ring. And he proved it here with how he worked as a technician, or not a technician, excuse me, against Ryback. He was working on Ryback's left arm throughout the match. I was just really impressed with the way Kevin Owens was carrying this match against Ryback. You know, nothing against Ryback. He's a good worker. But Kevin Owens really showed something unique about him. And towards the end of the match, Ryback, this was unique. Ryback countered this, I believe it was a Fujiwara armbar, into a kind of pump handle slam. I was impressed with Ryback's strength during that moment. And then he went for shell shock. Kevin Owens raked him in the eyes, rolled him up, 1, 2, 3, and Kevin Owens, yes, as I put it on Twitter, Kevin Owens is your new Intercontinental Champion. I was really happy for Kevin Owens because he needed to win the Intercontinental Championship. Nothing against Ryback. He did his thing as Intercontinental Champion. He tried. But when you're booked as a champion when you're booked as the Intercontinental Champion and you're going up against guys like The Miz and Big Show, that unfortunately really doesn't do anything to your credibility as champion or enhance your potential as a main event player, you know. And props to Ryback for going through matches with guys like Big Show and Miz. He tried, but now we have Kevin Owens as your new Intercontinental Champion. I'm really looking forward to seeing Owens as Intercontinental Champion. I hope he can really bring back a lot of prestige to that championship. And the only thing I'm going to say about this match is that I was hoping, I would have preferred Ryback lose via the pop-up powerbomb. But I remember Austin, AHS Rules on YouTube, saying during the live stream we did with Mr. Paul JB44, our predictions video for Night of Champions, I remember him saying that he thought there could be a chance that the pop-up powerbomb could be botched against Ryback. So it is what it is. I would like to have seen Owens win with the pop-up powerbomb, but I'm happy he's the new Intercontinental Champion, and I hope we get a real good series of matches between him and Cesaro now for the Intercontinental Championship. When they met at SummerSlam, it should have been like a number one contenders match. But now I hope we're going to get like a good series of matches for the Intercontinental Championship and bring some prestige back to that title. So like I said, good solid opener, mainly based on the work from Kevin Owens, 2.25 stars. And as always, ratings are down below in my description box. Next we had the... Oh, no. Okay. Next we had the first of two non-title matches, Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. Of course, this was the rematch from SummerSlam. And I felt that this was a good match. I felt it was a little better than the SummerSlam rematch. Originally, this was supposed to be a mixed tag match, Dolph Ziggler and Lana versus Rusev and Summer Rae. Of course, Lana unfortunately fractured her wrist, so she was not able to compete, so they went with Ziggler Rusev 2. Like I said, I thought this rematch was better than the SummerSlam match. Rusev got in his usual offense. Ziggler got in his offense. And then they had some real good back and forth exchanges towards the end of the match. I really liked the ending. I thought was funny. And I have to give props to Summer Rae for how she got involved, for the bump that she took towards the end of the match, because towards the end, Dolph's building momentum. He has Rusev reeling. Summer Rae gets on the ropes, and keep this in mind, she got on the ropes with her heels on, and then Rusev shoved Dolph into the ropes. Summer flipped over the ropes and landed on her butt. I think she hurt one of her butt cheeks. I'm sorry I had to say that, but I calling it like I see it. And then the referee ejected Summer Rae from ringside. Summer got furious. She took one of her shoes off, threw it down the down the ramp, and then she took her other shoe off, was trying to hit the ref with it, hit Rusev inadvertently, and Rusev walked into the zigzag, and Dolph Ziggler got the win. That was a funny ending. And like I said, props to Summer Rae for taking the bump that she took, going over the top rope like that. And I felt a little bad for Summer Rae because she was sitting on the floor, just like in shock and disbelief. And I know, what was it? JBL was calling her shoeless Summer, which I thought was really funny. But yeah, like I said, guys, I thought this was a good match between the two. I thought this rematch was better than the SummerSlam match. Now the question is, where does this feud go from here? Because when Lana was involved, they had the whole Dolph possibly seducing Summer Rae angle, and then Dolph, of course, presenting her with earrings on Raw this past Monday. I don't know where this feud goes from here. It had more of a significance, so to speak, when Lana was involved. It had more of that yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It had more of a significance with Lana involved, but now that Lana's gone, that she's off, with healing from her injury, it's missing that something that makes it an interesting storyline. So we'll see where they go from here, because I don't think Lana's supposed to return until Hell in a Cell, or at least the week before Hell in a Cell. So we'll see where this feud goes from here. Maybe they'll have one more match and just end it there, but we'll see, because without Lana, I mean, what's the point of this whole storyline? After that, we got the Tag Team Championship match, the New Day defending against the Dudley Boyz. This was a good match for the most part. It was very entertaining on behalf of the New Day. I mean, New Day is just one of the hottest things going right now in the WWE. Xavier Woods, sporting that Rufio hairstyle, I mean, that was freaking priceless. And then Xavier, of course, is priceless on the trombone. He played the Rocky theme, Gotta Fly Now. He played he was playing some song that went in coordination. Is that how you say it? Basically, he was playing a song on the trombone, and every note he did accompanied Big E's stomps in the corner onto one of the Dudley Boyz. I don't remember who. New Day is just awesome, and like I said, this match was good. It was very entertaining for the most part. I'll give it that on behalf of the New Day. Dudley Boyz hit a 3D towards the end of the match on Kofi, but Xavier Woods got involved and caused a disqualification, which I predicted. I predicted New Day wasn't going to lose the titles. I don't think they should lose the titles just yet. I think that they should continue to be champions until December, and then at the TLC pay-per-view, if this feud with the Dudley Boyz continues and is booked well, you can have the Dudley Boyz finally get the New Day in on their terms, on their playground, so to speak, a tables match, and then have the Dudley Boyz win the titles there. But like I said, good entertaining match, and then post match, the New Day tried to put the Dudley Boyz through a table, but the Dudleys turned the tables around and gave Xavier a 3D through the table, which was nice to see. Now, I would have preferred that the New Day actually put the Dudley Boyz through the table, because that would have garnered them major heel heat, and they would have made a bold statement with that. But I have no problem with Xavier going through the tables. But if this feud continues, the Dudley Boyz or the New Day need to put the Dudley Boyz through a table. That's going to garner them a lot of heel heat, and that'll make a bold statement. I mean, New Day, they rock. They're just one of the hottest things going right now in WWE. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this feud between the Dudley Boyz. Well, I'm just looking forward to seeing how things progress with New Day as tag team champs. I think if they're gonna drop the titles, it should be at TLC. Because like I said, if the Dudley Boyz get a rematch there, they can challenge New Day on their own terms, which is a tables match or maybe even a TLC match or a 4-team TLC match. Who knows? But for now, the New Day need to remain tag team champs. Drop those belts maybe at TLC or Royal Rumble, but for now, they got a lot of momentum going, so they need to keep it going. Next, we had the Divas Championship match, Charlotte versus Nikki Bella, and I said this in the predictions video with Paul, that this was a given that Charlotte was going to win the Divas Championship, because when Stephanie upped the ante following the bullshit antics of Monday's match where we thought Charlotte was going to win the Divas Championship, Stephanie said if Nikki gets DQ'd, counted out, or pulls Twin Magic again, whatever, she can lose the Divas Championship. And, Charlotte won the title, like I predicted. I said it was a given. And to me, it was a bittersweet moment because Had Charlotte won the match on Raw, it would have been more significant. Then you could have done the rematch. Charlotte retains in the rematch. And then from there, Charlotte could go on to most likely feud with a heel Paige or feud with Naomi, Tamina, Sasha Banks, you name it. But no, they mainly did the angle the way they did because they wanted Nikki to break AJ Lee's record as longest reigning Divas champion. They got what they wanted. Nikki's your longest reigning Divas champion at 301 days. So it was bittersweet to me, this whole match. But the match itself was good. I was happy to see Charlotte win. And then there was the moment, when Charlotte made Nikki tap out to the figure eight, I didn't jump up. I didn't cheer like I did for Kevin Owens when he won the Intercontinental Championship, because even though a lot of us predicted he was going to win, when we actually saw him win, we were just really happy. For Charlotte, it was a given, unless WWE really wanted to piss their fan base off and have Nikki retain clean. Yeah, and then, there was that moment where she was celebrating with her Team PCB sisters, Paige and Becky Lynch, and then, of course, the emotional celebration, the emotional embrace between her and her father, Ric Flair. That was nice to see. I mean, even though I found it bitter, even though I couldn't cheer like I wanted to cheer, I was happy for Charlotte. I was happy to see her win the Divas Championship, and to see that moment with her dad was special. Like I said, the match was good. I was surprised that Nikki was dominant throughout it, because Charlotte hurt her I don't know if this was legit or it was a storyline, but when Charlotte got knocked off the apron, she landed awkwardly on her leg and hurt it. And Nikki was controlling the match. She was dominating Charlotte throughout the match, working on the leg. And she even did a figure 4 leg lock around the post, which really surprised me because I've never seen any diva, to my recollection, perform that move like that before. When I see that, I think of Bret Hart. But other than that, I thought the match was good. Charlotte got the win. And I'm hoping that now, with Charlotte as the Divas champion, that her reign can ultimately give the Divas Revolution the kick in the butt that it needs. Because we need new storylines. We need new characters. We need new challengers, and so forth. So congratulations to Charlotte for winning the Divas Championship. I hope she has a great reign, and I hope she holds on to that title until WrestleMania 32 and we can get the match. Charlotte, Sasha Banks. I don't care if it's a 15-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute, hell, Iron Woman match. I hope that's what we get at WrestleMania 32. But once again, congrats to Charlotte. And as JBL said, although I don't think the Divas title is a world championship, that's the 17th championship in the Flair family and in the Flair legacy. So congrats again to Charlotte. After that, we had the 6-man tag team match, the Wyatt family versus Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and a partner of their choice. Before the match started, some fan dressed up in the Shield gear got in the ring. I guess wanted to be the Reigns and Ambrose's mystery partner, but of course security ejected him from the building. And Bray Wyatt, hey, that was cool. Bray Wyatt was playing it off, pointing to the fan and saying to, asking Roman and Dean, "Oh, is that your partner? Is that your partner?" That was funny. But before I get to the mystery partner, WWE needs to really step up their security with these kind of fan incidents. This is ridiculous. Roman getting hit in the head by a Money in the Bank briefcase that a fan tossed. Ambrose almost getting stabbed by a fan. And then, ironically, Roman and Ambrose being joined by some fan who jumped a barricade and wanted to be a member of the Shield. WWE's got to really step up their security and really keep this thing under control, because this is getting ridiculous, guys. Fans should not be jumping the barricade and trying to become part of the show, like the Lex Man said. I totally agree with what the Lex Man said. Fans need to show respect to the superstars and divas. If you don't like them, you have the right to boo them, but do not get involved like that. Do not get physically involved. I hate when I read a story like that. It's just ridiculous. It's just stupid. But getting back to the match, the mystery partner ended up being Y2J himself, Chris Jericho, which I personally didn't have a problem with Jericho, because let me put it to you this way. If it wasn't Daniel Bryan and it wasn't Samoa Joe, hell, if it wasn't Finn Balor, who I was hoping for, would you rather it be somebody like Eric Rowan or Kane? With Jericho, I was not disappointed. And I don't think the fans were disappointed, because they were chanting his name. They were chanting, "You still got it." So I'm happy with Jericho. I mean, like I said, would you really prefer to have, if it wasn't Jericho or it wasn't Daniel Bryan or Samoa Joe, would you rather have Kane or Eric Rowan? I guarantee you, if it was one of those guys, the crowd in Houston would have been pissed and would have crapped all over that match. So I'm fine with Jericho. And this was a good hard hitting match. Braun Strowman, you guys, this guy's a freaking beast. I love how WWE is building him as this next big monster. I mean, just don't have him come across Cena. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, man, I mean, Braun Strowman is a freaking animal in the ring. I love it. You know, towards the end of the match, Roman Reigns hit him with 2 Superman punches, and then it looked like he was going to go for another spear or for another Superman punch, and then Jericho tagged in, went for the lion saw, connected, but Braun Strowman, he didn't just kick out. He powered out and threw Jericho over his head, and before that, he picked, I believe it was Jericho up, and tossed him onto Roman and Ambrose. So, yeah, I hope Braun Strowman becomes that next big monster heel that we need in the WWE. Like I said, good match, hard-hitting match. In the end, Strowman choked Jericho out with that modified, you know, STO, that modified choke, and the Wyatt family emerged victorious. And, you know, I saw somebody on Twitter say, why does Jericho come back? You know, Jericho's been a jobber since 2012. Well, the thing is, Jericho, he has no problem putting over the young talent. And to me, that's something I respect. I mean, they're not going to have Strowman lose when he's got a lot of momentum, even though he's only been with the company on the main roster for like a few weeks now. I mean, straight up, Jericho sees something in Strowman, like he saw something in Bray Wyatt, so he has no problem putting over the young talent because he sees a lot of potential in him. And I can't help but respect Jericho for that. But like I said, it was a good hard hitting match. At the end, you know, Jericho shoved as he was walking by. He walked past. As he was walking past Ambrose, he like elbowed him or nudged him with his shoulder and just walked by. So I'm wondering, are we gonna get a Dean Ambrose, Chris Jericho feud in for the rest of this year, or Jericho versus Roman Reigns? Who knows? It's gonna be interesting to see. But you know, with Hell in a Cell coming up, what I would like to see is Roman Reigns. Personally, what I would like to see is Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt inside Hell in a Cell, because I honestly thought that's what we were going to go toward since the feud started back at Battleground or Money in the Bank. But then Ambrose got involved. Harper returned to Wyatt's side. And I thought we were going to get those 4 in a Hell in a Cell. So we're either going to get Ambrose and Roman versus the Wyatt family inside Hell in a Cell, or I would love to see, personally, Roman versus Bray in Hell in a Cell and see how Roman rises to the occasion in that match. So we'll see what happens from there. So finally, we get to the double main event, Seth Rollins' double duty, as the Lexman I like to call it. First up, we had Rollins versus John Cena for the United States Championship. Another great match between these two. The only thing is, I felt like it was very similar to. I felt like it mirrored the SummerSlam match just a little bit with some of the same spots. But overall, like I said, I thought it was another great match between these two. Once again, Rollins delivering in a big fight situation. You got some nice offense from Cena, including a Hurricane Rana when he countered Rollins' turnbuckle powerbomb in the corner. Rollins had a nice bit of offense himself when Cena was going for the protoplex after hitting his first 2 shoulder tackles. Rollins caught him with a neck breaker, which I thought was very clever, very creative. Overall, guys, I mean, just a great match between these two. And then in the end, you had Rollins, I think, was he going for the pedigree or was he going for the AA? He was going for the AA for the attitude adjustment. Cena countered with a reverse suplex, then drilled Seth Rollins with an AA and covered him to get the 1-2-3 and to regain the United States Championship. So John Cena is now a five-time United States champion. I was actually shocked when Cena won clean, only because I thought maybe Rollins would Cena would win via DQ or countout, and then they would go on. They would continue with Rollins as the dual champion, as the marathon man, so to speak. Because I would have liked to have seen what he would have done as a dual champion from now until maybe Survivor Series or TLC. But I did say that I could see Cena winning, and I really wouldn't have a problem with Cena winning. I do remember some people on Twitter saying, well, what was the whole point of him losing to Rollins at SummerSlam if he was going to get the title back? And honestly, when they announced title for title at SummerSlam, WWE backed themselves into a corner. Because I, like many, didn't want to see Cena tie Ric Flair's record for 16 world championships. And it was either Rollins beats Cena, or they come up with or Sheamus cashes in and takes the title. One or the other. So they backed themselves into a corner. Or Cena wins the 16th world title, and fans resent him even more. But great match between these two. This was definitely the match of the night. 3 3/4 stars, the same rating that I gave their SummerSlam match. And speaking of which, because I never did live reviews for these, my ratings for SummerSlam and Battleground will be in the description box as well. So after that, Rollins tries to weasel his way out of the world title match with Sting. Cena intercepts him, gives him an AA outside, and then rolls him back into the ring, and out comes Sting. So we get to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match next. This was just like Vengeance 2001 when Chris Jericho beat The Rock for the World Championship, and then immediately had to face Stone Cold in the Undisputed Championship Finals. For this match, I thought it was solid for what it was. You know, Sting can still go. Sting still looks good for his age at 56. I thought it was solid. I know that, you know, Sting and Seth were going to have a lot to follow up, especially after the great match that Seth had with Cena for the United States Championship. I really can't say much about this match. I mean, there was a moment, okay, early on Sting was dominating Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins started to fight back, and then he pushed Sting from the English announce table onto the Spanish announce table, I believe. And it was Sting went through one announce table. I can't really tell which, but he took a bad bump through that announce table, because it looks like his head might have bounced off the might have cracked against the not cracked literally, but it looks like he might have cracked his head against the monitor, one of the monitors that was behind him. That was an ugly bump. And then Sting took 2 turnbuckle power bombs in this match, and one of them appeared to really do some damage, because after that Sting tries to mount a comeback, bounce off the ropes, and then he just collapsed, and they had to call timeout to the match. And I was reading on lordsofpain.net that Sting may have suffered some kind of spinal or cervical injury, so I hope he's doing fine. They said he might have gone in to get some tests at the local hospital over in I don't know if it's Laredo or San Antonio, but yeah, Sting was pretty banged up in that match, and we could tell. And when he fell, I didn't think about the turnbuckle powerbomb, but in my mind I was thinking, yeah, I think he took a bad bump. I think he's hurt. I don't know. I didn't even stop to think about the table spot, but something just didn't appear right. So the match continued. Sting got Rollins in a Scorpion Death Lock twice, and Rollins managed to counter it the second time with this cool little roll up, and he got the 1, 2, 3, and he beat Sting. So Seth Rollins lost the United States Championship, but he is still your reigning, defending WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, like I said, this was a solid match for the most part. I mean, Sting held his own, and I just hope that I just hope Sting is okay, because he took a couple bad bumps in that match. So, like I said, I was reading reports that he went to get tests. He went to get some tests done to see if it was a cervical injury or a spinal injury. We'll have to see, because WWE.com did post a statement about the injury. So post-match wise, Seth is celebrating, and as he's celebrating in the ring, I'm just waiting for either Sheamus to try and cash in or some new challenger to step forward. Sheamus runs in with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Bro kicks kicks Seth, and I'm thinking, oh, crap, he's going to cash in on Seth. He's about to cash in when all of a sudden the Demon Kane, masked Kane, returns, chokeslams Seth Rollins, then chokeslams Sheamus, and that's how the show ends pretty much. Ending was what it was, but we knew eventually Kane was going to return to go after Seth Rollins. We're most likely going to get Rollins versus Kane at Hell in a Cell for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which I believe is Kane's first WWE World Heavyweight Championship match in, like, I want to say almost 5 years, if I'm correct. So it is what it is. Like I said, guys, overall, I thought the show was average. There were some good matches, including Cena versus Rollins. That was match of the night, no doubt. And some good moments like Charlotte winning the Intercontinental, or Kevin Owens winning the Intercontinental Championship, and Charlotte winning the Divas Championship. But overall, guys, just, not a memorable show for the most part. 5.5 out of 10. I know other people enjoyed the show a little more than me, but this is just my opinion. It was all right. It is what it is. And before I wrap this video up, I just want to address one last little thing. It was announced during the pay-per-view that The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar will finally settle their feud once and for all at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view on October 25th in Los Angeles, inside Hell in a Cell. Now, I'm personally excited for that match for 2 reasons. One, they're going to settle the feud once and for all in Hell in a Cell, let alone. And 2, we're not going to get Undertaker and Brock at WrestleMania 32, which hopefully means we'll get Undertaker and Sting. As long as Sting can compete at WrestleMania 32, we can finally get that dream match, Undertaker versus Sting. But as far as I'm concerned for now with Undertaker and Lesnar, I'm really excited. And I hope this match delivers inside Hell in a Cell. I may have to fly out to LA just to see this match live because I'm really excited for Taker versus Brock inside Hell in a Cell at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. This is the best way for this feud to come to an end. Let them kick the crap out of each other inside Hell in a Cell. I mean, their match at SummerSlam was really good up until that stupid bullshit finish. I mean, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar Hell in a Cell. This is going to be the only time that 2 guys have had multiple matches inside Hell in a Cell. Of course, they had the match, the brutal classic at Hell in a Cell, inside Hell in a Cell at No Mercy 2002, and now they're going to do it pretty much 13 years later inside Hell in a Cell. But this is to settle this feud once and for all, and that's great. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a real good match. I hope it's just a flat-out fight to the finish. And what else can I say? I mean, I might have to get a ticket to Hell in a Cell in LA just to see that match live in person because I believe that match is going to be freaking awesome. I don't think it'll surpass their Hell in a Cell match from No Mercy 2002, but I personally think that match is just going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, thank you, WWE, for giving us this match at Hell in a Cell and not at WrestleMania 32. So now, fingers crossed, we get Taker versus Sting. Hashtag Taker versus Sting at Mania 32. So thank you guys, as always, for watching, and thank you all for listening. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Please continue to support my videos. As I've said in previous videos, I reached my 1-year anniversary here on YouTube. I think I'll make a little 5-minute video just to thank everybody for their support and their contributions and subscriptions, and give some shout outs to a few loyal friends of mine, a few loyal YouTubers. But like I said, guys, thanks again for all the support. Please continue to support my videos. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all later.